guys, today on the eve of the beginning of the World Cup tomorrow, I wanted to make a video about who will be the dark horses of this World Cup, because I never like making predictions videos for the World Cup because no one ever gets them 100% right. No one even gets close most of the time, so I just think they're a pointless waste of time. But I'll split it into, because there's no way of really judging what is a dark horse. A dark horse can be a team that makes it all the way to the final, or it can be a team who makes it out of the group stages when they really weren't expected to. So I think I quite like this sort of subject within international tournaments. So I've picked 4 teams that I've seen thrown around as potential dark horses for this upcoming World Cup, and I'm going to suggest how I think they will do, or whether their label as a dark horse is correct. So we'll start off with the Netherlands, and by the way, there are a few teams that I've seen being called as dark horses who I think have sort of they've sort of overqualified for it. Like, for example, Denmark. A lot of people have said they're dark horses, but if you look at their results at recent tournaments, they reached the semi-final of the Euros 18 months ago, and also they reached, I believe, the quarterfinals of the World Cup in 2018 in Russia. So they are a bit overqualified, I think. Or was it? Yeah, it was the quarterfinals, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I think they are a little bit overqualified to be called dark horses. So we'll start off with Netherlands. Now, this is their first World Cup, I believe, since 2014. Only the second international tournament they've actually qualified for since then, because they missed out in 2016 and 2018. So they've got all their, well, bar Gini Wijnaldum, I think, most of their best players all fully fit, which they didn't really have at the last Euros. And they're in terrific form going into the tournament, and I think they could do very well. They have a favourable group stage, I think that's fair to say. They've got Qatar and Ecuador, so in theory they should fairly easily make it through the group. If you look at some of the players they've got, like if they've got a fairly strong all-round team. So in defence they've got some quality centre-backs in players like Virgil van Dijk, Daley Blind, Nathan Ake, Matthijs de Ligt, Stefan de Vrij, who else have they got? Jurrien Timber, like some brilliant players. They've got, I said Daley Blind as a centre-back. He's more of a left-back for Holland, actually. So as full-backs or wing-backs, they've got Denzel Dumfries and Daley Blind. Midfield, they've got some really good midfielders, even without one of their best players over the past few years, Gini Wijnaldum. They've got Frenkie de Jong, they've got Steven Berghuis, they've got quality. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem for them. They've also got Teun Koopmeiners as well, who can fill in if anyone does get injured. And then when we get to the front line, this is like where they've got some real quality. Players like Memphis Depay, who, although hasn't been in great form for Barcelona recently, he still had a decent season last year and has had some really good seasons at Lyon prior to that. He is still really good for Netherlands when he plays for them, so I think he will score some goals for Holland this World Cup. And also young players like Cody Gakpo, who is in, well, I say the form of his life, but you'd expect him to get better, or at least maintain this level, because he is only like 22, I think. And yeah, he's being targeted by a lot of Europe's biggest clubs. So I think Holland definitely deserve the title of, a potential dark horse who can go far in this tournament. Next, we'll go to, I'm just thinking of the teams that I had on my list. We shall go to Canada. Now, for me, I think this one, I'm not going to rule anything out because they have got some good players, Canada, but I just feel a little bit like, you know how Turkey did in the Euros. Everyone thought they were going to go really far. Now, I'm not saying Canada can't. They have got some really good players like Jonathan David, and Alphonso Davies as well. So they have got some very good players, but I just don't see it personally. I think in their group, Belgium, Croatia and Morocco, I think it is, I it wouldn't surprise me if they finish last in that group. I certainly don't think they'll get second. I know Croatia aren't in great form. Belgium haven't lived up to expectations in recent tournaments, but I just can't see them getting through the group stage, I'm afraid. So yeah. Next, we'll go with Serbia. Now, Serbia have some brilliant players in their team, but again, I just don't see them getting through the group stage. I think they can push Switzerland for that second place spot. I certainly don't think they'll finish last. I think Cameroon will probably finish bottom of this group in Group G. Brazil will probably finish top. So second spot is probably going to be a shootout between Switzerland and Serbia. And for me, Switzerland have done really well at previous tournaments, so I expect them to finish second in the group. Serbia, they've got some brilliant players like Mitrovic and Vlahovic, but I'm struggling to see mentally. I don't watch a lot of Serbia. I haven't watched a lot of Serbia over the past few years, but I just can't see how it clicks. Vlahovic and Mitrovic, it's two very big, strong forwards. It could work in like I don't know, in like a very direct style of play. But I feel with technical players like Milinkovic, Savic and Tadic in midfield, I'm just struggling to see how it all comes together. So for me, I think they'll finish third in their group, potentially beat Cameroon. And then the final one I wanted to talk about is Uruguay. Now, Uruguay have not done too badly in previous tournaments. I think they got to the round of 16 in 2014, semi-finals in 2010, and the quarter-finals in Russia 2018. So that's not too bad. But they are sort of coming to, it's going to be a weird time for Uruguay because they're coming to the end of this era where they've had some brilliant forward players like Suarez and Cavani. Forlan's obviously long gone by now. But they have also got some really good young players coming into their peak. Like we've seen Fede Valverde, arguably the best central midfielder in Europe right now, along with other players like Kevin De Bruyne, I'd personally say, and maybe one or two others, but I can't think of them right now off the top of my head. And also Rodrigo Bentancur alongside him. So that's straight away, that's a solid two-man midfield. They could also chuck Lucas Torreira in there. And even with Suarez and Cavani aging, I mean, Suarez has shown in the past, like even 2 or 3 years, that he still can play at a really high level. He's obviously not the player he was, but he was a massive part in Atletico Madrid winning La Liga just 18 months ago. And Cavani even like showed that in short periods of time for Man United that he can still score many goals. They've also got Darwin Nunez up there as well in potentially a very exciting front line. I don't think you've managed to fit all three together. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a two-man strike force of Suarez and Nunez with Cavani coming off the bench. They've also got a reasonably decent defence. I'd expect the possibly Jimenez from Atletico Madrid and Ronald Araujo to be the centre-back partnership. I think Diego Godin's, I don't know, I can't remember if he's in the squad or not, but he's definitely coming to the end as well. But I think they'll get through their group. In their group, they've got Ghana and South Korea, who they theoretically should finish above. And I think they could even finish above Portugal, because Portugal have got some outstanding players in their team, but it never seems to click for them at the moment. It's like a team that just don't work together, and I think they're better off without Ronaldo, and I can't see them dropping Ronaldo is the thing. So I think Uruguay could get through their group 100%. But anyway, there's my thoughts on potential dark horses for the World Cup. I think out of the 4 I've named, I think Holland and Uruguay are probably going to have the most success. I can't really see Serbia and Canada getting out of their group, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.